The early reviews for Joker are in, and since we know that you all are so excited about the film, we figured that we would pull some of these reviews together so you can get a feel for how good or bad the movie is. And man, this film seems divisive, to say the least. Divisive, but overall positive. Confusing? Well, keep watching and you'll see what we mean. Before we jump into the more controversial side of the film, let's take a sec to look at what is almost unanimously seen as a major positive for the movie: Joaquin Phoenix's performance. Ever since Phoenix was announced as taking on the role as the fledgling clown prince of crime, the general consensus among movie fans seemed to be that the Academy Award nominated actor was probably going to absolutely crush it. And crush it he did, at least according to David Rooney from The Hollywood Reporter, who wrote, "This is Phoenix's film, and he inhabits it with an insanity by turns pitiful and fearsome in an out-there performance that's no laughing matter. Not to discredit the imaginative vision of the writer-director, his co-scripter, and invaluable tech and design teams, but Phoenix is the prime force that makes Joker such a distinctively edgy entry in the Hollywood comics industrial complex." And Owen Gleiberman of Variety seemed to agree, saying, "Joaquin Phoenix is astonishing as a mentally ill geek who becomes the killer clown Joker in Todd Phillips' Neo Taxi Driver Knockout, the rare comic book movie that expresses what's happening in the real world." It seems like Phoenix's performance absolutely carries the film, which shouldn't be too surprising given that he is the title character after all. Still, this unconventional comic book film is generating a lot of Oscar buzz already for its star, as pointed out by Jim Bejvoda from IGN, who said, "Featuring a riveting, fully realized, and Oscar-worthy performance by Joaquin Phoenix, Joker would work just as well as an engrossing character study without any of its DC Comics trappings. That it just so happens to be a brilliant Batman universe movie is icing on the Batfan cake. You will likely leave Joker feeling like I did, unsettled and ready to debate the film for years to come." And debate this film, you more than likely will, as the movie is already generating a lot of discussions online and amongst cinema fans. Many people, including Stephanie Zacharek from Time magazine, have pointed out that the film's depictions of violence in order to achieve a desired effect is troubling, and the raising of Joker as a sort of anti-hero is not something to be taken lightly. Zacharek said, "The movie's cracks, and it's practically all cracks, are stuffed with phony philosophy. Joker is dark only in a stupidly adolescent way, but it wants us to think it's imparting subtle political or cultural wisdom. Arthur inspires chaos and anarchy, but the movie makes it look like he's starting a revolution, where the rich get taken down, the poor get everything they need and deserve, and the sad guys who can't get a date become killer heroes. There's a sick joke in there somewhere. Unfortunately, it's on us." Jessica Kiang from The Playlist seemed to agree with the notion that the film has a rather troubling viewpoint on things, saying, "In amongst Joker's fire and blood and chaos and its blackest of black-hearted laughter, there is the sense of a grotesque, green-haired genie being let out of a bottle. And whether it wreaks havoc or not, we're not going to be able to put it back in, because whatever monumentally unfunny funhouse we're in, we're barely hanging on in the world Joker reflects. I'm not sure we'd survive the one it would build." However, some people, such as Dorian Parks from Geeks of Color, look upon the film in a much more positive light, at least as positive as one can get when talking about a twisted, psychotic maniac like Joker. Parks said, "I believe this is one of Warner Brothers' most ambitious projects thus far when it comes to their comic book-based films. In saying this, I also believe Joker could be a potential game changer for the comic book genre in general." So Parks praised the film for taking a step in a much more, let's say, mature direction than a lot of the more mainstream comic book movie offerings, which is pretty much what Warner Brothers seem to be going for, all things considered. And Jenna Bush from Vital Thrills was also one who gave the film an overall positive reception, while still pointing out the more questionable aspects of the piece, saying, "This standalone film was a brave choice by Warner Brothers. Again, this is a difficult film to watch and it's going to take time to process, but ultimately, I think this is going to be a definitive part of Joker canon." And this is merely a handful of the early reviews that are out there. However, even just looking at these, you can definitely begin to picture the overall quality of the final film. As of this recording, Joker is sitting at an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, and is already garnering quite a bit of Oscar buzz, especially for Phoenix, who seems to be a very strong contender for a Best Actor nomination, if not a flat-out win. However, with the divisiveness that these early reviews seem to be hinting at, one has to wonder how financially successful such a film could ultimately turn out being. Of course, that also assumes that casual audiences may also find the film as controversial as the critics, which isn't always the case. No matter what, you know that we here at ScreenRant are chomping at the bit to get a look at the movie ourselves, and we'll probably have plenty more to say about it once it hits theaters proper in October. That's just what we're hearing about the film. If you're one of the lucky few who's gotten a chance to see it, what did you think about it? Let us know your spoiler-free thoughts down in the comments below. And while you're down there, why not subscribe to ScreenRant for more great content like this in your feed each and every day. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the movies.